All right, man. Another episode of Please Enlighten Me Now. We got the brother JB, Jonathan Boykins on the ones and twos, I guess you can say. All right, man. So we hiked up Stone Mountain up here, trying to get some of this positive energy. Since the last time we met up, you got a lot going on. Tell us a little bit about the school you got going.
Yeah, so just recently we got the school in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's the first African school, at least to my knowledge, in Tennessee, with the African curriculum for our children. And it's K through 12, and it's really about awakening the mind of our people and really make stop school being so boring all the time.
Okay.
So right now it's called IU, and that's the name right now. Anyone have any names, they can throw it out. It may help, but right now it's called IU.
Who came up with that name?
That was one of our board members. They came up with that name. 6 of us on board.
Okay.
And I was appointed the principal because it's based off a curriculum that I conjured up and worked with. But they did have the name IU, so we just stuck with that. So, but like I said, it's still up in the air. It may change, but right now that's the name of the school.
So you said it's in Tennessee. What city?
It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not too far. Probably not too far from downtown Chattanooga. If you know where the Tennessee Aquarium is, probably about 10 minutes away from the Tennessee Aquarium.
All right. Considering the fact that you got the property already, I know there's a lot of people out there probably like, man, how did they get this property? You hear people all the time saying they're gonna open, black-owned schools, African curriculum, and you're the first person that I've met, that's actually did it. And I know I spoke with you not too long ago when you were talking about it, and you already have it in process. So what are those steps? I know you're not gonna just say, oh, we're open tomorrow and come all, but how's that going?
Hey, it's going well. So we got the grant money that we needed to kind of start everything. We had the information there, but it was just the people in place to kind of work with, getting the grants and just raising the money was the main issue. And then they appointed me principal because of the information and the curriculum that I had to share with them. And it definitely took quite a few steps. We weren't sure if we were going to get the money we needed at the time to do what we want to do. And there was other potential buyers too, and it was just the whole logistics of doing that. It can get a little nerve-wracking a little bit in the process, but we know that our ancestors were with us, and that was the main thing, knowing that this was meant to be.
Okay.
And I was surprised myself, heard that all the money came through, and it's already built, it's already there. It's just getting it started now. We got a summer program supposed to be starting this June, and then after school program starting in September. Then the full school should be starting within a year.
Is it what grades?
So we're gonna do kindergarten to high school, so it's K through 12.
Okay.
So we're gonna do reaching out to the chunk of our community, which is our youth. Stimulate the minds of our people and give them something they may not be familiar with all the way they may have heard of, but that really come with practical information. We want to make what's information practical. There's a lot of good information on YouTube and social networks. A lot of meditation going on, and that's good for your own personal path. But we want to make this a community thing. As we know, we can't move our culture without our community. I mean, the young, the old, and in between, the diet, the dress, the way of thinking, the social ability, all that has to go together. And once we have that holistic understanding, then the culture starts to move like a sphere. It means the role of the world.
All right, you mentioned the diet. So you have a cafeteria there?
Yes, we do.
Is it meat based, non-meat, vegan, vegetarian? Are you giving the kids the option?
So we're aiming for plant-based. We're aiming for all plant-based. That's what we want to really get into, because we know that behavior and diet goes hand in hand. And sometimes you have behavior issues in your schools, and a lot of times it's just because the kid may have had too much sugar in the morning, and now they're hyperactive, which make them hypoactive, and you get all the pendulum swings of behavior, just malnutrition. So we want to make sure we're feeding the mind, the spirit, and also the body in the cafeteria.
I know a lot of people like worry about, a lot, especially in Atlanta. I'm not saying especially, but Atlanta, even my kid's school, the kid to teacher ratio is a big thing as far as learning. So you're K through 12. I saw pictures of school. It looks pretty big. What's your goal as far as total amount of kids being in the school and kid to teacher ratio?
So we want to keep the ratio teacher student pretty small, no more than they say 1 to 10 is really like the max. We want to do maybe 1 to 8, 1 to 7, to keep it smaller because when you have that family feel in the classroom, you want to make each classroom feel like a family. So when you walk into the arts room, it's going to feel like a family room. When you walk into the biology room, it's going to feel like a family. So we want to make it smaller and not make it too big where the kids get disinterested or they feel like they're not getting enough attention. The size of the school, we're aiming at for whoever wants the information. So Chattanooga is not really a big city. It's probably about 300,000 people in the city itself. So, we're probably aiming, the school could hold up to a couple thousand, but we're probably aiming to about right now, starting point, it works like 50 to 100 students right now.
Okay. Do you have any thought processes of how you're going to recruit kids? The main reason why I'm asking because like I said, I was really excited for you when I heard you had the school, and just the kind of mind I have, stuff started circulating. I know there's foster kids out there, there's troubled kids that's going to youth programs and stuff like that for being troubled. And considering your curriculum is something from the diet to this, that, and the other, it could be an alternative, program to help the kids young and go from there. Is that something that you might have in mind, or maybe I brought it to your attention that
we're going to look into that? I think first we're going to do a screening process to kind of see what a family's mindset is, because the word Africa scares people.
Yeah.
And we know where our people are, and we know where they are religiously, spiritually, mentally. So we want to make sure that we're not being, I guess, for lack of better words, offensive to their upbringing in the household. And that was part of the reason why I left my previous job because of, I guess, a conflict of interest, perhaps.
Okay.
But yeah, we want to make sure that we are making sure that the people, the family, everyone is on the same page with the children will be getting exposed to. Yeah,
yeah, you mentioned religion and spirituality. Some people look at those two different. You have religion, and you could say there's Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and all kind of voodoo is there, everything. But then spiritual is a whole another aspect.
Yeah.
So as far as religion go, are you going to be teaching religion or the history of religion, or is it just more of a spiritual?
Definitely, we want to start to get more informed about our history. Religion works off 4 principles essentially. Religion works off fear, belief, faith, and ignorance of history. That's how religion works. So whenever someone has belief, or faith, or fear, or ignorance of their history, then they get locked in these religions because they don't know the history of it. We're all spiritual anyway. Eating a bag of Doritos is spiritual. There's a holistic aspect of everything we do, but in today's day and age, we don't see it that way. But the sick spirit goes to the church, the sick mind goes to the psychiatrist, and the sick body goes to the doctor. So it's still spirit, mind, and body played out with everybody. So once we see that formation, you will see that people who are spiritual in their own way, they may knock you upside the head, but that's their form of spirituality. That's their form of ma'at, which is of course, a distorted form of whatever they are trying to express, So we are who we are because of what we believe. And your highest degree of spirituality is your personality. So if anyone talks about, all these good sermons or whatever, all you gotta do is watch them. And I'll tell you the degree of their spirituality just by their personality. You can never extend higher than your personality.
So with that, so because like I said, you don't want to offend anybody. So let's say if a family was Christian, or a family was Muslim, or a family was, whatever, more Science Temple, whatever it may, Nation of Islam. Is it what with your curriculum would offend them, or maybe it wouldn't offend them because like I said, it's more spiritual based than anything else.
Yeah. If information offends you, then it will.
Okay.
Sure. If information offends people, if truth offends people, if knowledge offends you, then you will be offended.
So I'll say more or less in curriculum based. So let's say, for example, I have a first grader, and based off of your study or based off of being principal of the school, what would be a natural day for a first grader? Come in and.
So first grader, we want to make sure they're learning about just how to count with the abacus, with simple mathematics we call arithmetic. How numbers are related to other numbers. They're going to do African dance, African poetry. They're going to learn about who they are. Ma'at is really instilled in the younger generation. Truth, justice, reciprocity, harmony, order. So they would come in, just pretty much each class is about an hour long so far. We set that up for about an hour. Younger maybe like 45 minutes because we know their attention span may be a little bit shorter. So this exposure really for African artifacts, who your forefathers were, Imhotep, Nefertiti, the story of Asar and Aset, they say Osiris and Isis, knowing the Greek names and the Kemetic names behind these principles, just the basic mythology systems that were never meant to be taken literally. These are spiritual truths. Every religion on the planet understood that, except for one, which made them literal truth. So we want to make sure the child can think abstractly, so we're going to be breaking up abstract thought, concrete thought. Some people say sympathetic thought, symptomatic thought. So just kid being exposure, mainly first few grades, exposure to information.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's definitely what we want to make sure that kids understand. It's holistic, like I said. I'm excited about it. I'm really happy that it's happening, that I'm able to be in the forefront of this. But this is a community thing, and I want to make sure that people who need some type of employment or want to be part of this movement, we can start building up restaurants and clothing stores, and just a whole community can be revamped if you wanted to.
Where can they reach you if somebody was in your area and decided that they were interested in being a teacher or being a speaker, or they have clothing or something of that nature, or even a community garden? I don't know how big your property is, things like that. People that are interested in helping, but they have their specialty in the community. How would they reach you to be involved?
Okay, right now I would say the best way to reach me is through email. I would still say that. Our own Facebook page, but email probably the best way to reach me right now. I would put my phone number out, but I don't want to do that quite yet. But if you go to jsbreadoflife@gmail.com, just send me an email, let me know you're interested in the school or may want to stop by, and from there I'll give you my personal information, or you can go to Facebook, JS Emissaries. That's JS, one word, then Emissaries, EMISSARIES. Go on there, just add me on there, and you can ask whatever questions you like, and just get it started from there. I'll be more happy to work with whoever wants to work with us to make this bigger. Like I said, it's not just me, it's the community that we're trying to improve, and who's ever attached and wants to know truth and understanding and knowing that this is part of something that needs to be done in this proper place, then I would say definitely reach out to me.
Yeah, the goal wasn't really necessarily talking about the school, because last time I talked to you, I didn't know anything about the school. that came with a very small amount of time. So like I said, I'm really excited. That's why we've been focusing on this. But now that you've mentioned, JS Emissaries, like what's going on with that? So you're gonna have the school going on? Are they working hand in hand? Or
Yeah, so they are kind of like it's kind of like a epicenter school. I have a tutoring school, and then another arm of that is JS Emissaries. They all kind of attached. So JS Emissaries is Sonia and I, and we run that. We do teleconference, we do health assessments, we do full self-assessments. You want to know what your health is, what herbs to take. If you want to do anything health-wise, we can definitely address that. So that's the same. jsbreadoflife@gmail.com. Contact that email or the Facebook page. We just got off the phone last week. We had a teleconference with about 7 people. We work with people all around the country, and yeah, that's definitely a huge part of what I do as well, because I am a certified holistic practitioner by none other than the great Dr. Africa. Some of you guys may know him, and Hussein and I are both certified. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we want to reach out, because health is wealth. And anybody who doesn't have a health plan doesn't have a true plan of anything, because without your body, that's the first requirement of life, to be in a body. So we got to take care of our vessels so we can continue to do what we're purposed to be here for.
are you able to certify people also, or you have?
Not quite. I don't have that. I don't believe I have that type of power yet. I would like to. I could definitely help somebody understand it.
Yeah.
If someone wants to get more understanding, then they can come to me. I would be more familiar with it. But then again, you have people who do palm reading. You have psychic readers, and they open up businesses everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're not certified. So if you want to have the title as a holistic practitioner, then you can really look into that.
I remember you were saying that you got a couple of things that you specialize in, not just certified with the holistic side. Now you done added a school to the resume. A little alchemy. I remember you said, and acupuncture, and you do a little bit of all.
Yeah, I try to dip and dabble. I mean, so I do like to prepare a lot of food. Sunfire food. People call raw food. I say sunfire. So I do like to be in the kitchen making food and stuff, because that's the main thing about eating healthy. Is people think it's disgusting or nasty. So I like to meet them halfway and say, look, it can still be good. Also, I dibble. I read a lot of history. Also metaphysics. Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, those guys people know about very well. I learn a lot from those guys as well. I mean, it's a lot of information when it comes to vibrations. So we want to make sure that we understand the causation of phenomena. What causes life? What causes things to happen? And once we can pinpoint that, then we can be better pursuers of our path. Because we're not really our thoughts. We're more so observers of our thoughts. So we observe what we're thinking. Just like a projector screen projects something on the wall, we're observing what our thoughts are and our energy. And we're coming in contact with that on a daily basis, and we're complaining about our interactions with self. And that's all it really comes down to. No one's perfect, but the word perfect doesn't mean anything anyway. Perfect means with precision. So you could be perfectly evil. That means you're evilly precise. So the word perfect doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just, are you getting down that what you want to do?
Is all of this the stuff that going to be, as the grades go up from kindergarten to 12th grade? Are those going to be something, everything that a little bit of that is going to be part of the curriculum? So
Exactly.
I know you mentioned acupuncture. I know you're talking about the sunfire eating. All that is going to be part of the curriculum.
Exactly. That's going to be a huge part of it, because we want the students to start thinking more abstract, concrete, understanding that their environments are shaping how they think, and that they should be masters of their environments to understand how to shape and shift what they need to acquire what information they want to. So the acupressure, acupuncture, self-diagnosis, self-assessments, understanding what organ does what, understanding the periodic table, knowing that calcium and zinc, what do these words mean? Where do they come from? Calcium is just code for something that moves. So you gotta have something that moves in the body. So calcium is your driver, the person who's in the driver's seat. But you gotta call the people to get to the car. Everyone gotta come in. So that's your magnesium. That's your iron. Those are magnetic elements on the periodic table. So we go from the left side of the periodic table is solids. Then we have our middle, which is our transitional metals, which are liquids. Then we go from gas. So we go from body, mind, and spirit on the periodic table, just like that. So we have our noble gases. So we talk about how matter in existence has to be able to propagate life and to build off it. You have to start with something very, very stable. So we have things called stable elements, like nitrogen, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. Those are stable. They're so stable that you can build life off them. This is why you can track how old an organism is, because the carbon is so stable that it decays at a certain rate. So now we know how old something is by using certain carbon dating, which they say in calculus, natural log of 2 divided by k. So we're breaking down these spiritual principles as related to mathematics, or ma'at-matics. Ma is the word for mathematics. So we said ma first. Then we put a T on it. The Arabics put a T and said ma'at. And then the Greeks came in and said mathematical. And then the English came in and took the O off and said mathematics. So we're talking about ma'at when we're talking about mathematics. We're talking about spiritual principles. So it's all tied together, spirit, mind, and body, because that's what education is. That's what institutions are. And that's essentially what culture is. So once we relate these things, the students start to get more interested in what's going on. And we are students of the universe. So we say we at universities. We were students of the universe first.
I know a lot of the ancient universities or secret schools of science or the mystic schools and all of, is that where you're getting the foundation from your school at? Is those type of schools of thought and things of that nature?
You definitely say that for sure. So it's a Kemet, or chemistry. So Kemet means black. Mystery means the Kemetic mystery. So Kemet means the black mystery. So we know information is held in blackness. If God was to come in as a person, he would have to come in as the black being, because black is the carrier of all information, the carrier of light. So it's the one who bears light. So to be able to come on the planet and walk around, you are a dark being that allows you to hold all information, ancestral information. And you're able to access those genomes or DNA strands in your body, which we call, to begin, genius, the beginnings, the genesis. So you are a genius based on the ability for you to access your beginnings. So if I can access my beginnings of DNA, then I am therefore a genius. And so are you. So that's all we're talking about when we say these words. We're not really breaking down the etymology of it all the way, so we get kind of lost in the language and we don't know what we're saying, but it's all it is. Everyone's a genius as long as you can access your beginnings of yourself. But when you're born in the hospital, they're going to put in synthetic oxytocin, which knocks out your ancestral memories. Plus they're going to expose you to a bright light, which is going to cause sympathetic and parasympathetic stress to the baby, which is going to stop the baby from being able to access certain energies of the body. And then they're going to disconnect them from the mother. All these things are really genocide, destroying our people.
How long does that effect last? Because I know, for example, they say, from what you just said right now, you be thinking, oh man, my baby has no hope. But at the same time, cells and everything's recreate at some time or the other. Some say daily, some say longer than that.
Yeah.
The recreation or reborn. People say, oh, it's rebirth, and I became anew, things like that. Do you believe that so also that you can come back to what you lost from birth, or?
There's different pathways. Most of those things are somewhat permanent, mainly because when you cut off the placenta too early, well, the placenta has a pulse to it, and the baby is breathing through the mother. So there's sores that happen on the brain that haven't missed it forever. Now, I'm not saying that you can't recover from that. I was born in the White Hospital. You know what I mean? Not saying that I'm just whatever, but many of us are. some of the effects, many of them are permanent. If the baby continues to grow and never accesses any type of way of diet or thinking or some type of rejuvenation of the body. We know the reproductive system of the body. The reproductive system of the body is also regenerative. So ejaculation is regenerative. You know, so you can practice, which we go into as well with our Emissaries, regenerative sex that heals the organs. And if you ejaculate 12 times, you can access your highest chakra energy. There's actually 12 chakras. Everyone talks about 7, but there's the auric chakra, there's the earth chakra at your feet, there's the cosmic chakra, there's the solar chakra, and then we have the galactical chakra. There's 5 of them outside the body.
Okay.
We just talk about the root and the solar plexus and the heart and all that type of stuff, but there's 7. So there's 12 of them. So we actually go into that stuff too. Stuff that we want to go into. The 7's the Indians. That's the Ayurvedic system. We want to bring this stuff all back. Everything's coming back to Africa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The earth chakra connects you to your ancestors. You know, we got to access all that's at your feet. You have one that's 18 inches above your head. The sun is actually one of your chakras. The sun in the sky right now, that's your solar chakra. The space itself is a chakra energy.
Well, saying that, you know, the sun is a chakra in itself, but nowadays people run. I'm in the shade right now, you know, and people put on the sunscreen and the sunglasses and
so who has the 12 chakras?
And the hat. And
so who has the 12 chakras? The melanated people have the 12 chakras because they can deal with all the energies. So chakra just means the nerve centers in the body are crossing. They call it caduceus.
But do you think the diet that most people have makes it where they're not able to deal with the sun like they're supposed to?
Exactly. People have to put on sunscreen because their melanocytes cannot switch over quickly enough to deal with that. What we call photovoltaic. Your body, see, plants are photosynthetic, but humans are photovoltaic. So when the sun hits the skin has to have a reactionary process to the stimuli. If it cannot switch over the melanocytes to respond to the exposure of light, it will die out and decay, which we call sunburn, which is oxidative stress of the body. So when you're eating a plant-based diet, your melanocytes are in pretty much a mirror image. Your chlorophyll and hemoglobin start to mirror each other all the way, and what that allows is your body to respond quicker to sunlight energy, which allows the body not to become sunburned. So it is a biochemical thing, just like acid reflux. Acid reflux externally is sunburn. It's just the body can't deal with what's being put in it. It can't deal with being put on it.
So if you were somebody came to you for treatment, you guys are at the beach talking about the treatment, and they break out some sunscreen, and they're what you consider a melanin being or black or whatever people want to call it. Does that in your head right then and there? Does that tell you like, okay, first thing we got to work on is this?
What color is the sunscreen? It was always white.
Yeah.
So you widen out your own blackness. I mean, you look at this stuff, you know, you start to see like, wow. So I was born with some sunscreen to my hip. That's what comes with a human. You gotta have sunscreen.
Yeah.
We gotta think about how silly this stuff is. You know, I'm not saying stay in the sun all day long, but if someone came to me, I would say, okay, just drink more water because the water content in the body is going to help you be able to deal with the sun like that. You know, make sure the cells are hydrated. You know, drink some burdock tea or something before you go out. Drink some red clover. You know, have some chlorella or some spirulina before you go out to kind of keep that body on a plant kind of energy there because most of your body is mostly plants anyway. We call them microbials in the gut. You have over a million different microbial bacteria in your body. You know, so those are going to help you deal with the energy of the sun because remember that's your chakra energy. So if you can't deal with the sun, then you can't deal with full self. So anybody who's doing that is not fully engaged to self. And then watch them for a day. They probably go to Burger King. They'll probably do this. Get some Pepsi. And you say, okay, well, it makes sense. And they're gonna come and tell me that I need some sunscreen. But yeah, I'm not really the darkest shade, you know, person.
And you can't get sunburned?
Yeah, I never get sunburned. Never.
So anybody that's let's say your color, and I know I might stay in the sun. I'll come blacker. but
yeah.
you know, I won't be sunburned. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
my skin won't be peeling or anything like
Exactly.
that. But there are people who are lighter, who are considered, you know, black,
Yeah.
who they'll get sunburned. So that one
Yeah.
itself says that
Yeah.
something's not right with the diet.
It's water content.
Okay.
Water can't. It's like putting a dry pan on the stove.
Yeah.
It ain't got no water in it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna start
Burning.
pop, 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 pop,
Yeah,
pop.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But put water in the pan.
It might boil, but
It
it's
may
not
boil.
gonna
It may get hot. We call it sweat. When you boil, you're sweating.
Yeah.
So the body has a natural reaction to the water, which boils.
Okay.
But it was not gonna burn it out as long as the water contents. But you got to keep on, you know, because at a certain point you're gonna need more water. So as long as you're staying hydrated, as long as the pan stays hydrated.
Yeah, it's no
at all.
problem. It can get hot. Okay.
It's all sunburners. That's exactly what it is. So it's very simplified, and I can break down the chemistry and stuff a bit more, but not to get too technical. But that's all it really comes down to. So I mean, why would God put you in a climate where you would need something else to put on all day long? You getting that hot, just sit on the tree.
And it all goes hand in hand. You know, like I said, I keep on going back to your school. Like I said, you just told me today. I'm excited about it. Is that part of the learning process for the kids? I know you said it'd be like, you know, some mathematics and more like the simple like logic type of things, but as you get older, all that stuff goes, like I said, hand in hand with each other. What would be the foundation for like I said, eating habits and things like that? Like, I know my kids are really young. I got a 6-year-old and a soon-to-be 7-year-old and a 1-year-old. And if we don't, you know, myself, I try to eat as healthy as possible. But to tell them like, oh no, you can't have no Capri Sun, they look at you like like you crazy.
Yeah.
And that's because, you know, they go to school, other kids have it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
How do you think you'll be able to develop kids who, you know, at school they might be eating one way, but then at home?
Yeah, the parent is the foundation still. You know, we're the ones setting up the reward and punishment systems. You know, kids don't know, our children don't know where to look for guidance, so they may sometimes go to their peers. You know, let's keep in mind that when Iran and when these countries wanted the countries to stop eating pork, they said, stop eating pork or die.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to be that militant, but they said stop eating pork or die. And guess what happened? Within one day, the whole nation switched their diet up. So we're the ones who are setting up the reward and punishment systems for these for our children. So if the child has the foundation, okay, well they may sneak here and there, but as they say, the apple don't fall from the tree. So once they get of age, they may, you know, they probably come back to where it is. You know, kids want to explore things. You know? And there's only so much you can do when they're not in your own sight. So, but you want to make sure the kids have a good understanding, foundation of what these things are. You know, we may look at something as being, okay, this is some sweets here or some candy, but if the kid knows what this is doing to the body, truly know what's going on, then they will be less likely to do that.
Especially if the trial and error, because like I said, my daughter, if she drinks milk, she'll be okay a couple of days, then she'll cramps in her stomach, and she's seen now that she doesn't drink milk, you know, she doesn't have that problem. So, you know, just telling them and then them actually getting the effect helps herself.
Exactly. It's definitely a process when it comes to older people, but kids don't know anything different. Children don't know anything different, so they're gonna experiment here and there, but they're gonna know what mama and daddy says. So they know, okay, it's saying the right thing. And you show them the science. Kids like science stuff too, you know, let them know what's going on. They'll be spewing the information better than you at a certain age. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
So
as far as like eating healthy, you know, you say get some burdock root, get some of that. That's not a normal thing you find. You might even go to the store and you won't find that nowhere. How do you find yourself? I even see a lot of people, you know, hey, I got this new spirulina or sea moss, and there's all kind of stuff out there. You know, everybody says that, you know, got the most minerals and they're good for this, but half the stuff you can't find. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you go about getting stuff like that?
Today's day and age, you know, you can go to farmers markets and grab a lot of your stuff. But I mean, even on top of that, you gotta take a multivitamin today. You gotta take some type of plant powder protein. You gotta take some for your prostate or something for uterus. That's automatic. You're not gonna get all your nutrients from foods anyway.
Just because of the way
the
that
toxins in the environment.
and the way the food is
Exactly.
created.
The plants today they've stopped producing trace minerals we call gold, silver, and copper. So the pollution that stopped the plants from producing something, going through a process called nitrogen fixation, which releases the gold, silver, and copper into the plants and makes it bioavailable for the humans. So now you got to go into these colloidal silvers, colloidal golds, colloidal coppers, just to get those trace minerals in the body because the plants will no longer produce them. So the plants keep them for themselves, and they may be in the plant, but they may not be bioavailable. So when you eat them, you won't get those benefits from them. So that's why you gotta today. Those days of getting all your nutrients from food, those days are
Pretty much
those days are pretty much over. Unless you're on some part of the land that hasn't been polluted with anything.
and then you're growing it yourself.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that you're just making sure the balance is there correctly. You don't want to. You want to stay as close to nature as possible, of course. When you're green inside, you're clean inside.
Okay.
So you want to make sure. Simple things you can do: breathing deeply. That's a very good way to keep your blood alkaline. A lot of us breathe up here. We want to breathe a lot lower. As we see, like a lot of your animals, like mice and stuff, they have very shallow breathing and very short lifespans.
Okay.
When you go into a tree may have one pulsate a week. All the stuff that was in there went to the ground and came back at one per week. And trees live for 500, 600 years sometimes, And so we know that pulse, which is controlled by your vagus nerve, your brain, that's very important to your emotions and your state of well-being and lifespan. All that stuff's connected together. So we don't want to get into accelerated breathing all the time and shallow breathing. That's going to shorten our lifespan, make us more irritable, make our system more acid, and allow us just to not have a better quality of life. So we want to do quality. We want quality over quantity. We want good quantity of life, but you never know what can happen the next day. So we want to make sure our quality of life. Yes, you can live to 100 years old smoking cigarettes, but I doubt you'll be using the restroom by yourself. You may need someone to help you. So people using these excuses, these alibi systems they have. There's tons of alibi systems out there to excuse someone's addictions.
Those type of addictions like cigarettes, and we're gonna wrap it up. I don't want to take your whole day from you, but are there natural ways that can cut an addiction? It's like something like a cigarette. They say, okay, instead of smoking a cigarette, I'm gonna drink this type of tea or do this type of thing, and it'll take that craving away. Are you aware of stuff like that?
There's certain things like there's an herb called FOTI, F-O-T-I, that would help with the cravings. You would probably combine that with ginkgo biloba, so it goes to the brain.
Okay.
Smoking is a biochemical addiction, so all addictions are addictive. And so you would just add FOTI, or you could use some type of tonic, and you can just combine it with ginkgo, so it goes to the brain, or go to cola. Or you can just wean yourself off if you can, but it is a process though. You gotta want to do it. It can't be because someone said you should stop doing it. It has to be something you understand. We all have addictions, and addictions are not bad things. It's when addictions are in the wrong place. You can be addicted to something good. So I don't want to bastardize the word addiction too much, but it's just like people who are gonna do what they essentially feel is
that they want to do.
Yeah, they're gonna. It's the whole story of two nations. The Bible says Cain and Abel, whatever. It's really a battle.
Yin and
the
yang.
stronger of two nations. Yeah, that's all the stories are come down to. So the greater of two nations in your body yourself is going to win that battle every time.
Yeah.
And usually emotions win every time. Logic has no place in your emotions. So I don't argue with emotions. Emotions are emotions. You got to put the emotion in the right place so you can come with the right solution.
Yeah.
So I want to stop doing this so much so kids won't do it.
Yeah.
I want to start eating healthy right now so kids will start eating healthy. Sometimes you got to be more about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we got to be connected to our community. If your ancestors were in slavery, then you were in slavery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're not connected. You know what I mean? So when we think of ourselves in an individual standpoint, if someone in your community got hurt, then you got hurt. If someone got shot, then you got shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to look at it that way.
Especially if they're a source of information.
Exactly. So we don't look at ancestors as being dead. We look at them in the internal realm. You know, we don't look at death as being the opposite of life. Death is the opposite of birth. And within that exists life. So the ancestors are in the eternal realm, and we're in the temporary realm, and we can access their energies by way of vibration. This is why the words we say is very important. So when someone says Ha is the Egyptian god for plenty. So when you say Ha, you want more information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The god Shu. Well, Shu is the god of wind. So when the winds come and say shh, or like it's like a fly drain, like shoo,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Or we say nu, you know. So we say nutrition. Well, Nu is the god of water and sun, and then you have Triton. Triton was the son of Poseidon and Hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite and Poseidon had a child named Triton. So Triton was the god who carried messages throughout the sea, and so he's like the courier or the mail carrier of the sea. So when you say Nu Triton or nutrition, you're saying that to carry the information in the sun by way of water. That's what you're saying. You know, vitamin. Bi means life, Ta means knowledge, Min means God. So vitamin is the information of God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What is the I know you mentioned before, not today, but before I talked to you, you were saying like there's a specific that has like 92 of the however many minerals that your body needs. What is it?
You said for the what's that again?
You were saying that as far as like different supplements, there's a specific plant.
Oh, you're talking about the Hoodia plant. Probably the Hoodia has enough nutrients to get. It has enough nutrients for the human body for 3 days. It's called Hoodia, Hoodia.
Okay.
The Hoodia plant. Maybe kind of tough to find. There's a lot of things you can do to kind of. Fasting is always good to kind of the body. I know you're fasting right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes people actually gain weight off fast because you have cells that spin certain ways. Like when you go to the health food store, it may say L in front of it. L phenylalanine, L lysine. L means left spin.
Okay.
So we call that Fibonacci sequence in mathematics, which is 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5, 3 plus 5 plus 8, 13. So we have spin cycles in the body, which they call citric acid cycle, which produces ATP molecules, which stands for adenosine triphosphate, which is and it turns to ADP, which is diphosphate, which is technical talk anyway. But the thing is, to get energy, you have to have these spins, and these two cells spin together, and when they spin together, they produce pure energy.
Okay.
From pure energy, you can actually gain weight from a fast, because the body starts to produce pure energy.
Depending on your body, though.
Exactly.
I've never gained weight off in the past, but
yeah,
it might be my
When you
diet
first-
also.
When you first get into it, some people can actually gain weight. There was a study done, I think back in the 70s, where a lot of people actually started to gain weight within the first 3 days
Okay.
of the fast. A fast is technically 3 days, technically. But yeah, there's a couple studies done. But yeah, I mean, the body's really a magnificent thing. It's always fighting towards light. It's always trying to go towards light.
The more,
It's like the trees go towards the sky for
Yeah.
light. So,
the more you know about it. But hey, this is all stuff I'm pretty sure it's gonna be going back to the school. Right now it's called iYouth, you know. We're gonna try to get I know me myself, I'm gonna push it as much as possible because to me it's a beautiful thing, man. I've heard so many people say they're trying to start schools and they do all these, you know, I need the money. People, we need the money. And I haven't heard that from you, you know. School is here, you know, and we're going to reach out to people to come. You know, if people want to sponsor, that'd be a great thing. You know, I threw out the idea for you, you know, people could shoot the sponsor to you and have their name on the wall so let people know that they were part of the building process. Because you got the building, but now you need everything within the building to go with that. And, you know, there's going to be bills that come with that, electricities and reflooring and watering and, you know, all that come with it. So, you know, we do want people to support you.
we need artists out there, we need people drawing stuff and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna try to make my way up there real soon. So, you know, the YouTube world and website and everybody in the world, you know, check for him, man. This is Johnson Boykins here, better known as JB, the brother, elder, all that. You know, he's bringing it to y'all. All right, we gonna wrap it up. We don't want to take this whole day. You know, I need to get some more information about this school. I'm gonna try to put some pictures up and, you know, reach out. Anybody that watches, if you have information or you want to be involved, tell them that email one more time.
So that's jsbreadoflife@gmail.com. That's JSBreadoflife@gmail.com. Or you can reach us on Facebook, JS Emissaries, and just add us on there, and you'll see our frequent posts and what's going on with us. Definitely.
That's what's up, JB. Thanks again, man. We gonna keep on building. You know, we got the positive energy up here. You got me with the nice little. Where's it at? You know, I can't even get it on there. There it go. The nice look at that. Look at that. The sun beaming on it. But yeah, you see the jewels he got. You know, we're gonna try to get that into play. We're gonna try to get that into play. But all right, man. Thanks again.
All right, man.
It's a pleasure. Please enlighten me now. Bringing another one.